to move aside here and let everybody see you've got it for the 4th year. I know that makes you feel very happy. It's a great win, 17-14, over a good Iowa football team.
Well, thanks, Pete. It was just a fabulous day for all of us at Iowa State. It was an excellent football game. Iowa's a fine team. There's no doubt about it. A veteran team, experienced team. They were leading the Big Ten in scoring, 36 points a game. But the atmosphere of our fans, our football team, they played with a lot of togetherness, a lot of heart, and the team that wanted that game the most in the second half was going to win that game, and obviously our kids end up making the plays to win the game.
Well, you had solid performances in all phases, offense, defense, special teams. I know that's what you preached all week long. It all came true.
Well, it did, Pete. You know, and the turnover margin in any game is always so important, and we won that 3-1 yesterday. The kicking game is so important. There's no doubt we won that. Got a turnover in the kicking game. I thought Tony Yelk, with the exception of the one missed field goal, was just outstanding again yesterday. But we knew we needed to get off to a good start, Pete. There's no doubt about it. Iowa's been hot. They've had 2 huge blowouts in the last 2 weeks, and we needed to get off to a great start, and that was one of the real keys in that win yesterday.
Well, you mentioned Tony Yelk. I think his punting into the wind was about as good as it could have been on a day like yesterday with a 20-25 mile-an-hour wind in his face. He was over 40 yards per kick.
No question, and you know, I think he'll finish up second or third in the Big 12 in punting, Pete, but he's just done so much for our program this year. He's meant so much to us, and yet he's just a freshman. As we all know, he's got a lot of games left at Iowa State.
Well, some of the seniors, I don't want to say save the best for last because they've had a lot of bests going into this game, but certainly they were outstanding in your final game. Outstanding,
Pete. And, you know, the meeting we had Friday night when our seniors get up and talk about what this last game means to them, it's always one of the most meaningful ones, and great group of seniors. There's no doubt there couldn't have been a better atmosphere to finish their career, and what a way to go out in a big win over Iowa.
Well, as you can imagine, lots of highlights, lots to talk about. We'll be back to look at those highlights right after these messages. November the 24th, and the weather didn't start out very well in Ames. In fact, kind of a typhoon went through the town right before kickoff, but it did clear off enough for most of the ball game, about 3/4 in before it got wet again. But you did have to contend with the wind.
We did, Pete, but you know, I thought everybody, as you mentioned earlier, all our players really handled it well.
First quarter action, this is Betts, no gain. Willie Judd leading the charge for Iowa State.
No question, one of his best games since he's been at Iowa State, Pete. Great play by Willie to start the game.
First offensive series for Iowa State. First play, Mike Banks picks up 12.
Real nice execution by our offense there, and Mike Banks playing one of the best games in his career, and always plays with that extra heartbeat, Pete.
And now here is the give to Campbell, who makes a nice little move and cuts around the right side, picks up 8.
Soup Campbell, obviously, with one of his best games of his career yesterday. Nice job on that play.
Danielson makes a catch for 9 yards for Iowa State, and that sets up this play.
5-man front, though, for Iowa right now. First down play from the 40, from the shotgun. Here's Wallace rolling left, looks, throws deep down there for Campbell. He's got it! He's out of bounds at the 1-yard line, right on the side.
Well, we've talked about it all year. Big catches by receivers and big throws by Seneca rolling out.
Tremendous execution. Lorenzo White out there with the lead block. You won't see a better route, better throw and catch, and it's not like there isn't good coverage, Pete. The ball was put right where it needed to be. An outstanding play by Soup Campbell.
So Iowa State goes to the air to get the touchdown. It's Danielson from Seneca Wallace. We'll see it again. It's 7-0 Iowa State.
Outstanding execution. Iowa's real stout inside against the run, Pete, as you know, and they'd stopped us inside and went with the call here, and Steve Loney made a real nice call. Real good execution by our offense.
So the Cyclones back on defense against Iowa. Betts with this attempt is met by Matt Word for no gain.
Mo Word's really improved the last few weeks of the season, Pete, and thought he played real well yesterday. Liddell Betts, obviously one of the best backs in college football.
There's a big play by Word, a 10-yard sack.
Great play, tremendous execution, and that's what we're looking for. And yesterday, the tackles for loss came through with some of the biggest plays in the game for us, Pete.
See it again, Matt Word making the sack on McCann, and Iowa forced to punt, so Iowa State gets it back. Here's a pass to Whitford.
Well, a real nice job. We've got a quarterback, we think, Pete, that throws on the move as good as any in college football. And Jack Whitford, another one of those real valuable core of receivers that have had such a great year for us.
This is Betts and a big hit by Anthony Forrest. And that sets up what happens next.
High in the backfield, right in the middle of the field. And here's Banks, play action, steps up, now runs out of the pocket, chased by Durandi. Now he's hit and sacked back at the 49-yard line.
Another big play by another senior.
No doubt about it. At his best, Pete, and, you know, we're just so happy and so proud of Kevin. He's had a marvelous career at Iowa State, and I think he saved his best for last yesterday. Tremendous sack and a big play at a time when we needed it the most.
So Banks at quarterback again. This time he's rushed by Tyson Smith. And he Gets it away, but incomplete.
Real good pressure. You can see there's 3 Cyclone jerseys there around him and forcing him into a bad throw.
Cyclones get it back. This is Danielson from Wallace for 12 yards.
Good ball security as usual with our receivers catching the ball and putting it away, Pete.
Wallace back again, finds the tight end, Mike Banks, and he picks up 20.
Just about, we thought from the sidelines he had a chance to maybe score if he could have kept his feet. But again, protection's excellent, good throw and catch here, and Mike Banks at his best.
So the Cyclones go for the field goal here, but it's a tough one. It's a 42-yarder into the wind. You can see it's maybe even tipped. I'm not sure.
I don't think it was, Pete. I think Tony said he just didn't hit it well. The snap was good, protection's good, hole's good. He just didn't hit the ball very well.
That's Betts for no gain. Word, Runk, and Durandi on the stop. Now they'll try the wide receiver screen, but C.J. Jones knocked down by Timmons, Durandi, and Willie Judd.
There's the snap. Not much of a rush. Yelk line drives it where Hill will return it. Nope, it hits in front of him. He touches it, and Iowa State's on top of it. Ellis Hobbs comes up with it.
Ellis Hobbs with the big play for Iowa State, and looks like it hits his foot, then his hand.
I think it did, Pete. I think you're exactly right, and outstanding coverage here by Ellis Hobbs, one of the top freshmen we think in the Big 12 Conference, as a special teams guy, and a real valuable play for him yesterday.
Tough running all afternoon for Ennis Haywood. He picks up 8 there, though, and this was probably his best sequence.
I think it was, Pete. Great drive here. You can see excellent job by the offensive line inside. Iowa's run defense is really a fine defense against the run, but real valuable plays here and a real nice series by our offense.
And Seneca zips it into Campbell there for Iowa State first down inside the 10-yard line, and here's Ennis for 7 yards and a touchdown.
Great job, tremendous execution, physical blocking by the offensive line, and doesn't get any better than Ennis Haywood or when he gets down there in the red zone, getting close to the end zone, Pete.
Take Iowa with the football right before halftime here. Betts thrown for a 2-yard loss. Tyson Smith in on the stop, and the Cyclones go to halftime 14-0, but in the third quarter, the Hawks get it going.
Well, there's no question, Pete, they're really a fine offense. Great play there by Khalil Hill. Real fine throw by Kyle McCann, 2 seniors. And they came out in the third quarter and really got some things going with their offense.
There's another deep ball, but Timmons breaks it up in the end zone.
Outstanding coverage there by Mark Timmons. Great position, went up, knocked it down, just what you expect out of your safety.
Here's a very well-executed screen pass, and Iowa scores with Betts.
No doubt about it, just as you mentioned, Pete, real good execution there, and defensively we got to do a better job of staying on our feet, getting to the ball.
Then they come right back on the next series, and Betts shakes loose down the sideline, 42 yards for the touchdown. All of a sudden, it's 14-all.
Real good game, just like we knew it would be, Pete. And as you mentioned, Liddell, one of the better players ever to play at Iowa, made a real good play to get the touchdown.
Nice catch by Banks for a first down. That picks up 11 yards, and now Wallace comes back and throws to Danielson.
Again, here he is on the run to his right. Got great zip on it. Coverage is good by Iowa, but real good throw and catch again there by Seneca and Lane Danielson.
Iowa State into the wind, and Yelk hits a beauty.
There's no doubt, Pete. That's, as you know, one of the toughest things in football is to have to punt that ball into a wind like that. But Tony drove it. Excellent job, and our coverage was just fantastic.
So deep in their own end, Betts is hit for a loss, a 1-yard loss, 4th and Brown there. And now pretty good coverage, in fact, real good coverage on this play by Johnny Smith coming up.
Well, another one of our young defensive backs, just a sophomore, and really an outstanding play there, Pete. Play before, you got 2 freshmen making the play. Johnny Smith, a sophomore, a lot of good young defenders on the field for us.
Bradley punts it 46 yards, and Wagner, who has made some nice returns in the last couple of ball games, gives Iowa State great field position.
Outstanding job there, and our punt return team has really improved the last couple of weeks, Pete, and it starts with Mike Wagner and his ability to catch it and get north and south.
And again, it's Wallace and Campbell hooking up inside the 20-yard line, giving Iowa State great field position. You'll see it again from the low angle here.
Again, protection's great, and you got 2 playmakers there making plays, playing with a lot of confidence, Seneca Wallace and Craig Campbell.
So that sets up Tony Yelk for the field goal attempt. Rather low, but he shoots it right through the uprights, and it's 17-14 Iowa State.
No style points, Pete. We got knocked it through there, and obviously it was the difference in the game.
Here's Betts for Iowa, and he picks up 1 yard. Word again on the stop. And now a big play coming up by Anthony Forrest.
Huge play. It was a heck of a job of Kyle McCann just to hold on to the football, because then you come blind like that and don't see it coming. Anthony with a great play, real good call by John Spaldani, and a big play for our defense.
Iowa State with the football now. Here's one of the few miscues by Wallace of the day. as he steps up, and the underneath coverage picks it off that steam, but watch Campbell. Tomahawks the ball loose, Ennis on top of it, and get it back.
No doubt one of the real big plays in the game. And again, there's senior Craig Campbell with one of the biggest plays of his career.
Makes a 12-yard reception as Iowa State comes out of its own end. Still throwing. It's wet at this time, and Danielson comes up with a nice run and catch of 18 yards.
You make a good point, Pete. I mean, it's wet. There's light rain off and on. The conditions aren't great, but our receivers are doing a heck of a job here holding on to the football.
This is Whitver on the catch. Iowa gets the ball with 3:41 left.
Straight back to throw. No pressure. He throws. Picked off by Russ. 45. Russ with the interception at the 43-yard line.
And it doesn't get a whole lot bigger than that. Here it is again. Runs going high and just snagging the ball. His 4th interception.
Just as big as it gets, Pete, and tremendous pressure there by our defensive line in the face of Kyle McCann, and outstanding interception there, and a great play by our defense.
And Seneca Wallace rolls out, picks up the 1st down. Iowa State able to run out the clock in Iowa territory at the end of the ball game, and as you can see, the happy Cyclones out on the field with their 4th consecutive win over Iowa. This one 17-14, and Mac, I think the best thing about it was hyped all week long, maybe more than any game since 1977, and players on both sides lived up to it with a great game.
It was a great game, Pete, and everybody in the state of Iowa should be proud of the players that played on that field yesterday from both universities. Obviously, we're extremely proud of our kids, and in the end, we were the better football team. It was a hard-fought game, tough game, Big 12, Big 10 matchup, but we're sure proud to have our 4th win in a row, the first time in the history of Iowa State University.
We'll be back with our weekly feature right after this.